Have you ever actually stopped to think about what happens the second you hit enter on a search bar? Right. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to dive deep into exactly that. We're literally pulling back the curtain on the internet's invisible architecture. We're going to pop the hood on the web, see how it organizes basically everything humanity knows, and map out this wild digital terrain. Okay, let's dive into this, because it's one of those things we totally take for granted, right? How does the internet actually know anything? I mean, say you type in a super simple query, like who directed the movie Inception. You don't just get a massive list of random websites anymore. Boom. Milliseconds later, you get a clean little card right at the top of your screen. It's got Christopher Nolan, his picture, his age, a list of his other films. But how? It's not like there's some guy sitting in a basement frantically flipping through an encyclopedia. There is a highly sophisticated system running the show. And the secret to that system? Well, it all boils down to a massive, fundamental shift in how computers actually process information. See, for a really long time, search engines, they were essentially just reading strings of text. If you searched for Christopher Nolan, the machine had zero clue he was a living, breathing human being or a movie director. It was literally just looking for the letters CHRISTOPHER squished up next to NOLAN somewhere on a web page. But that changed. A while back, the web stopped just matching exact words and started actually understanding concepts. It went from reading dumb strings of text to understanding real-world things. Which brings us to Section 1, the Invisible Information Architecture. And this brilliantly illustrates how that shift actually happened. Think of it kind of like city planning, but for the digital age. Okay, so first you've got your raw data. Imagine these as loose bricks. Every article, every photo, every random fact, just massive piles of loose bricks everywhere. Then you add hyperlinks. Those are your roads connecting one pile of bricks to another. But, a bunch of bricks connected by roads, that's not a city. To build a functioning metropolis, you absolutely need a plan. And that's where the knowledge graph comes in. It's the ultimate blueprint. It dictates exactly where every single brick belongs and how every road connects to make the whole shebang actually work. Let's quickly track how we actually got here. So, jump back to 1989. We had the web of documents. Pretty academic stuff, mostly just a way to link basic text files together. Fast forward to 1998, and we enter the era of keyword search. Absolute game changer at the time, because you could find specific documents globally, but again, the machine was still just playing a giant game of matching text strings. The real modern era? That didn't kick off until 2012 with the launch of the knowledge graph. This is the exact milestone where the web basically grew a brain. It finally started mapping relationships between actual concepts in the real world, completely setting the stage for how we use the internet today. Moving on to Section 2, from pages to connections. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between the two eras. On the left, imagine the old web. It's like this gigantic, chaotic library where all the books have just been dumped on the floor. You want a book? You basically have to yell a keyword out loud, and the librarian runs around handing you every single page that has that word printed on it. It's messy, it's isolated, and honestly, it's incredibly slow. But over on the right, look at the new web. We are entirely done with isolated pages here. Now we're dealing with structured, connected entities. It's a network linked by actual relationships, a massive digital brain that actually gets context, not just vocabulary. Here is Section 3, Building the Knowledge Graph. So how on earth do engineers actually build this digital brain? Well, it all comes down to a very specific framework. By definition, a knowledge graph is a structured network of real-world entities, which the engineers call nodes, and their relationships, which they call edges. This is the magic trick that takes the utter chaos of the internet and turns it into highly usable, structured knowledge. Think of it like grammar. The nodes are your nouns, the people, the places, the objects. And the edges, those are your verbs, the actions, the properties, the actual connections that link those nouns together. Now imagine you're building a mini web for your favorite actor. You'd literally follow these 3 exact steps. Step 1, identify the entity. Let's say your guy is Tom Hanks. Boom, he is your entity, your first distinct node. Step 2, map the relationship. What's something Tom Hanks did? Well, he acted in a movie. Acted in becomes your relationship, your edge. Step 3, form the network. You simply connect Tom Hanks via that acted-in relationship to a brand new entity, the movie Forrest Gump. Now just multiply that exact process by every actor, every movie, and every director that has ever existed. Suddenly you've got this massive, intelligent web. Let's move to and see how this builds out in practice. When you scale it up, Facts are literally just stored as connected points. Look at this. Node A connects to node B, right through an edge. Marie Curie discovered radium. Paris is capital of France. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa. You see what's happening? This is exactly how the internet stores information now. It's not saving a giant Wikipedia article. It is capturing the fundamental truth of how these real-world things relate to each other. All right, section 4, the scale of digital data. So the crucial point is really grasping the absolute mind-boggling scale of all this. Just take a second and look at all those zeros. 500 billion. That is the current estimated number of facts structured within this modern digital blueprint. 500 billion distinct, perfectly mapped relationships tying human knowledge together. It's honestly kind of hard to wrap your head around. We're talking about a system holding everything from the exact atomic weight of gold, right down to the release date of your favorite obscure 90s sitcom. And look, a number that massive definitely didn't happen overnight. It is the result of explosive exponential growth. Check out our baseline here in 2010, right before the knowledge graph officially rolled out. The web was huge, sure, but structured data, barely a blip. By 2015, okay, we're seeing some moderate growth as search engines really start aggressively mapping the core stuff. But then, look at 2024. I mean, the bar absolutely skyrockets. This crazy explosion of data points shows how the web is rapidly mapping virtually every single corner of human knowledge. It's being fed by automated systems that are just constantly crawling the internet looking for brand new relationships to categorize. But you might be wondering, what exactly makes up those 500 billion facts? Well, 40% of this massive blueprint is purely dedicated to people. Historical figures, politicians, athletes, celebrities. Then 35% maps out places, literally everything from whole continents down to that one specific coffee shop on your corner. And the remaining 25%? That's creative works, books, movies, music, fine art. It really highlights how this digital blueprint categorizes the stuff we as a society actually care about, making sure the things most relevant to our everyday lives are instantly at our fingertips. And finally, section 5, the future of knowing. So we've covered the architecture. We know the mechanics, we've seen the crazy scale, but where is all of this actually taking us? Well, this quote perfectly captures what's coming next. The next frontier isn't just finding information, it's generating new knowledge from the invisible connections between data. Seriously, think about the implications of that for a second. With the explosion of artificial intelligence, the knowledge graph isn't just a souped-up encyclopedia anymore. AI isn't just using this blueprint to find what's already been written. No, it's looking at those 500 billion nodes and edges to deduce things we haven't even explicitly figured out yet. It's literally generating brand new insights just by analyzing the invisible threads that connect our world. Which leaves us with this final, honestly pretty provocative thought. As you're browsing, as you're searching, as you're posting online, you are actively leaving a trail. So where do your digital footprints fit inside this ultimate blueprint of human knowledge? Because every single time you publish a post, update where you work, or even just add a friend online, you are literally adding new nodes and new edges to this vast global brain. You're not just a user searching the knowledge graph anymore. You're literally a part of it. Something to keep in mind the next time you type a quick question into your search bar. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Stay curious and keep exploring.